Well, welcome to our Get to Know Our Mindset Trainers webinar series. I'm excited to bring this to you today. We've got a motto here at Exit that says good agents are born, but great agents are trained. So to that end, we created our mindset training program, and it is loaded with expert, skilled, and experienced trainers and coaches that are here to build stronger, more productive, and successful real estate agents. That's what the name of the game is when you have a training department, and that's what we're here to highlight today. I'm your host, Craig Witt, CEO of the U.S. division for Exit Realty. And we've got something for every level of agent in our company. Whether you're brand new, you're emerging, or you're an experienced agent, or you're wanting to build a team, we've got something that touches everybody. And today we're here to shine a really bright light on one of our expert trainers and coaches, one of my good friends, been here a long time. Please welcome Rick O'Neill.
Craig, good to see you, my friend. So wonderful to be here. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's wonderful to have you take your time out of your busy day too and share your knowledge with all of our people. The whole point of today, everybody, is to, like I said, shine a light on our mindset training program. And today we're going to talk about Rick and what makes him so special and so unique. At the end of this, what I really want is for each of you to, just ignore all your distractions right now, pay attention with us for the next 20 to 30 minutes, and really understand what it is that Rick can do. He has got over 40 years of experience in the real estate business. He's worked for several large brand companies, and he'll talk about that. But just personally, between Rick and I, I've seen a lot of his training, been part of it, been through it, and seen the results that he's had with a lot of our agents and brokers. And it's effective, and they're good strategies that each and every one of our people can apply, and they can see instant results. But like everything, it takes habits. And Rick's going to talk a little bit about that today. So let's start out with sharing a little bit about you and your background. And don't forget to include things like, how long have you been in our industry and how long have you been with Exit? So let's talk a little bit about you, Rick. Where do you come from, and who the heck are you?
Well, that's gee whiz. I'm going to have to narrow that down a little bit. I've been in the business actually over 50 years now.
Wow.
And, I got in as a salesperson, like most people. And I listed and sold for over 12 years, managed offices, managed multi-level offices, and then went into corporate, worked for Century 21 for almost 20 years, and left there as vice president, took on another company, small franchise company, national, with 85 offices, and took that to 850. And then I retired for a day and a half. And I came home on a Friday night one night and said, no, I don't want to travel anymore. And it happened for a day and a half. And then I got a call from one of my friends, happened to be president of Century 21 at the time, and said that, Rick, I'm in Atlantic City. I have 1,500 people here. And the speaker that we're planning on for tomorrow is sick. Can you come down and help me out? Well, I'm from New York. So it took me a 3-hour drive, and I was back in business again. Then I met Hector Castillo, and he said, do you know anything about Exit? I said, no, I don't. And we had lunch the next day. 3 days later, I was on a plane to Toronto, and I met with our founder, Steve. I met with Erica. I met with Tammy Barnell. And I said, I wanted to make sure these people weren't drinking something funny, and I found no. So when I found out what Hector told me about Exit is true, because I said, if this is true, I want to be part of this. I'm not done yet. I still would like another rodeo, and that was almost 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I love to ride, but I don't like to ride in a paddock. I want to get out there and run.
Yeah.
And that's what Exit has allowed me to do.
Yeah, well, it's been great having you here, Rick. And I remember when that happened, because I was a regional owner at the time. I wasn't working with regional owners yet in the role that I have today, but I was a regional owner and I was a multi-office franchisee. And I remember talking to Hector at one of our meetings, and he was bragging about this guy from Century 21 that had all this experience named Rick O'Neill, and I hadn't had a chance to meet you yet. Then I showed up at a broker training, and I ended up meeting you, and you started working with all of our people. And it's been a pleasure ever since. You changed and impacted a lot of lives in our company. So Before we get too far ahead, I just want to recognize that and say thank you for the contribution that you've made to our company. You take a little different perspective because you have such immense knowledge in the broker side of things, so the franchisee level, and you have a statement that I've read before that talks about every broker wants to increase production, but they're not quite sure how to do that, right? And there's only a couple things in brokerage that you can do. You can either offer better commission splits, you can reduce fees, but ultimately at the end of the day, you've got to have production. You got to have productive agents. You got to have people that are committed, and you've got to constantly be recruiting and building your office because people move. It's just the thing that is most prevalent in our business. So we try to solve that revolving door issue at Exit Realty, where we bring you in, weld you in, and make you so happy, and it's so irresistible to you that you want to stay. So before we get too far into that, I want to know a little bit about why did you get into this training space? Why did you feel like you wanted to be a trainer and a coach?
I don't feel like I'm a trainer. To tell you the truth, I read an article one time some years back from Forbes magazine, and it said training doesn't work, and I almost fell out of my chair. And what it was saying is that training doesn't work unless it's implemented. And it's like I could teach you in a book how to play golf, but that doesn't make you a golfer going on the golf course taking a course on it. So so I learned that I want to train, but training is just a platform to coach and to mentor people to get beyond. And that's at my stage of life. I believe that what I'm here to do is to help other people. And also, I think my beginning years of failure in this business, I went 3 years, Craig. I think you know my story, but I went 3 years without making any money. And that was the best 3 years of my life because it taught me something. It taught me about me. It wasn't the market, wasn't my customers. I didn't have bad customers. I didn't have bad buyers. It was all me. So that was my biggest, I think, learning experience. And I can empathize with the top producers, and I can empathize with the people that are struggling and would like a reset in their life. And that's what I love to take on, help people change their life. That's what it's about. It's not even about real estate. It's about lifestyle.
Yeah, well, it really is. I mean, once, like Steve always says, a lot of realtors have these bent coat hangers. What we need to do is we need to get them straightened out. Somehow we got to help them create good habits and start living by a calendar and being accountable. And that's true in any industry, really. I mean, if you can just show up and you can just do the task that's in front of you, you'll have some level of success. And then the question becomes, how good do you really want to get, and what are you really willing to invest to do that? And I think that the right people who are coachable and they're ready and they're positioned in a way that they're willing to listen to someone else tell them what to do, as hard as that is, that's when their mind opens up and they say, take me to the next level. So, in regards to that, I think you're kind of a subject matter expert with what you do because of your vast experience, as we talked about a minute ago. Tell us in a nutshell, what is your specialty? If you were to say, this is what differentiates me from others, what is your specialty?
I would say in a second that it would be has to be with empathy, that I can meet a person and within a relatively short time during that meeting, I could understand who that person is, and I could understand where they are, and I could understand where they are and where they want to go and what's the difference between that. And so I find that although I will give a training class, my coaching and mentoring has to be almost like one-on-one. I'll give group training, I'll give group coaching even, but the mentoring is really a one-on-one situation because everyone is different. You can't treat everyone the same. Yeah. And it's not just a matter of learning dialogue and going out and doing it. It's a matter of having the ability to go out there and do that and do it effectively and make money. So my greatest thrill in life is to see a person that was doing 4 or 5 deals a year go to 15 and 20 and 25.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a thrill. Especially, I get so many single moms. I guess because my daughter was a single mom for 10 years, I seem to have all the single moms gravitate to me. And maybe that has a lot to do with my age, I guess. And but I am just thrilled when they can send their kids to private school and things like that.
Yeah, take themselves to the next level. And, that has this ripple effect throughout the environment and our society where, the more you earn, it gives you a different mindset. It perhaps puts you in an opportunity to be a homeowner instead of a renter, if that's your situation. Or who knows, maybe to go and buy a new car or do some of those things that are really important to you that you haven't had a chance to do. So you're right, it allows a lot of freedom. Tell me what you think your perspective is on the training, the challenges that we face today. And I'll tell you, I've mentioned this before, but in the past, I sat in a training room once with a trainer, a very well-known trainer, and you know who this is, but I'll protect the innocent. And somebody in the audience, Rick, said, I hear what you're saying, but you got any new stuff? Like, you got something new for us? And he goes, why? Do you have any new problems? And I'll never forget that. And I thought, that's how basic and simple this business really is. And I don't mean to simplify it, because it is a challenging business that we're in. But it made me think, what else do you have? Like, what are the problems? So here's my question. What's your perspective on the challenges for agents and brokers today when it comes to training?
Excellent question. It's different today. Many of the old challenges are still there. Like, that was a very witty statement. And it's a truism, but not 100% true, because people are different today. The customer, the consumer is different. The buyers are certainly different. The homeowners are different. What we went through with the pandemic, we can't do the same things today that we did when I first came into the business, that we did even a couple of years ago. So I think that today, I have a saying: future ready now. Future ready now. And we have to this industry is changing, and we're either a recipient of other people changing it, or we should be the changer. And we go in and we give service that people are expecting now, which is different. So for instance, I believe that on our licenses, we have to have licensed real estate salesperson. I get that. But I don't think we need more salespeople. I think we need more consultants. I think we need more teachers. I think we need to have people that know more than what the average person does, not only about sales, but about how to coach buyers and sellers into getting what they want today. I don't care about interest rates. It doesn't bother me. I don't care where the market's going, up or down. I just have to know where it is, know the facts, and then build a strategy around that, because we're going to be successful no matter what market, what interest rates, doesn't matter. It just tells us how to do it better, that's all. Yeah. So that means a change. That means a change on what we focus on. It means accountability. It means our leaders we have to be better as a leader. I take at least 3 courses every year, so I stay new. And I think that's indicative of our brokers, because for our brokers have to be mentoring, coaching, and training the people. Have to be accountable, and that's leadership. Yeah,
it's becoming tougher and tougher to validate the value of the real estate agent when the consumer, in many cases, is more educated than the real estate agent is. And that kind of ties into my next question, and that is, how do you stay relevant? Like, how do you have someone in your demographic that is so experienced, and the fundamental basics of how to get this all done, but we're being pressured by all this technology and this AI introduction and a lot of lead generating now, where it becomes less personal. It's not as personal as it used to be, I don't think, but we've still got to prove our worth to the consumer. So how do you stay relevant in the industry that's changing?
I think that's a very interesting question, and I'm always looking for ways to improve that. As I just mentioned, I take 3 courses a year. Some are in person, some are online. I'm a graduate of the John Maxwell Institute, so I'm qualified to do his leadership training, and I continually take courses from that. And I actually probably 80% of my learning is from the people, brokers and agents that are out there doing it and talking to them. Now, I don't know if I should say this on film, so you might have to cut this out. But I actually work with some of my exit local offices and knock on doors with them. I want to hear what's being said.
Yeah.
I'll make phone calls with them.
Yeah.
I want to hear what's being said. Now, like you said, some of the things don't change, but some of them do. And so that's how I try to. I may have 50 years in the real estate business, but I have maybe 2 or 3 years new in the real estate business, if you know what I say.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're always reinventing ourselves, right? And I don't know if it's a matter of staying relevant or if it's just staying current, but at the end of the day, we've got to keep our ear to the ground as to what is changing and always try to get in front of it.
Yeah.
And then have an answer to the question when the agent or the broker comes to us so that we have the solution. Because really that's what we are, is we're problem solvers. And they're coming to you for answers that they can't figure out on their own. So it's our job as leaders to guide them. But I love hearing the fact that you're part of John Maxwell. There's many, many of our people in our company that have gone through that course and have become accredited with John. And, you know, the whole idea at Exit is not just to get you trained in real estate, is to help you become a better person. And becoming a better person, becoming a better leader, being an example, all those things. So it's really cool to hear you say that. I think too, you can draw from that experience and you can share that with our people and encourage them to go out and get trained and get into leadership style. So that's a really cool thing. Tell me about, you know, since the pandemic, I feel like in my mind there's been this cultural shift in learning and this attitude of, do I need it? Can I rely on technology? Do I really need to come to your meetings? Do I really need to come into a room and listen to this, or can I just do it online? What's your feeling on virtual learning?
I think you have to be very, as I'm looking at an agent now and as a broker, I think you have to be very careful not to dismiss the value of getting together with online people. I never thought you could have a relationship with text. I was wrong. Just simple text. I get about, I send out messages about 500 a day, and to those 500, I get about 100 responses from our agents and from our brokers. And so I was wrong with that. I was wrong that we could have a discussion the way that we're having right now, where I have people right now, when I get on Thursdays, I'll have people from Alabama, Mississippi, New York, St. Louis. It's wonderful. And, you know, I have all these people on, yet some of the problems are the same. Now, they break into cultural differences, got that. So we could do that one-on-one. But for the most part, it encourages one another to hear, you have that problem too? Oh my goodness. So there's a lot of people that a lot of agents today don't want to go into the office for an office meeting.
Yeah.
Really? You know what? I get that. I understand it. I know what's happening, but I'll tell you what, when I'm able to get in front of a person in person, I'll take as much advantage of that as I possibly can, because it's not the same. Now, is it good to get together? Yes. But man, there's nothing like a one-on-one meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. And I don't like to use the term old school, but I feel like the experience has taught me that if we're in a people business, which I believe that we still are, I do believe the technology is playing a big role in that, and it's making us more efficient, which is great. But I also think that it's really hard to tell somebody's tone, their tonal quality, their personality, their commitment to you as a human being, as to what I'm here to do for you and how I'm going to earn your business and work on your behalf. All those things that I can share, like you and I would do in person, is really difficult to do over a text. So we want to keep encouraging that. You know, our culture in our company here at Exit Realty is one to gather. We want to pull our people together because there's a lot of research and science that shows that when people get together, they learn more, they communicate better, they collaborate better, and they create and maintain that cultural, familial feeling. So that's really important to us. So I agree with you.
I'm a hugger. So I'm a hugger, man. So I love to be in person with folks.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, that's the purpose of our convention when we get together once a year, and all of our people say it's like a big reunion where all of our families get together and we see each other. And there's a lot of truth for that. And there's, you know, the personality types vary in our industry, Rick, that some people need that, some people don't need that, but the majority of them do. We're in a high, you know, I personality, D personality business. They're very excitable, but they have really high highs and really low lows. And when they get, I would say, on the side of the road, you know, they get parked on the side of the road and they get frustrated and they're not having a good day or a good week. They need someone to talk to. They need a shoulder to lean on. So some encouragement. So, all right. So let's talk a little bit about how do you use technology to reach your audience? Your audience is agents and brokers, mostly brokers. How do you use technology to reach your people and communicate with them?
I use Zoom in most of the cases. I send out a lot of texts, just follow up out of the blue. or just to say, hi, how you doing? Do you need anything today? But mostly is on Zoom. I'm on Zoom most of the time with either groups. I'll have 12 or 15 brokers on at one time. I'll have 20 agents on at one time. And then during the month, I'll have certain times where I do individual meetings. So I could take what we did in the group meeting, then really personalize it and really talk to the people. Now, here's something interesting that I find, Craig. I find that when I get a person one-on-one, 90% of the things that we talk about are not real estate.
Interesting.
Real estate related,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the roadblocks, the fear of failure, going to the next level, speaking with people, knocking on doors, making phone calls, signing a buyer agreement, having fear, doubts, doubt that they're good enough to do it, doubt that they could do it as good as the guy that I saw up on stage. And I spend a good part of my private time talking about that to people. And I think that could be the biggest part of what I do.
Coaching them through that uncertainty.
Yeah, get through uncertainty and doubts. Everyone doubts themselves. Here's the problem. This is a simple business to understand, but it's not easy to do. It's simple, but not easy. So I could learn all the dialogues in the world, and you pick them. We have some really, really good. You get a Kia Sood, and man, that guy's got dialogue after dialogue after dialogue, and they're great. And now the question comes, how can I do that enough times that I could get really good at it? And so I think that level of taking that level and turn that into experience is the key to helping our people. I would like to do one thing over the next couple of years, God willing. I would love to be able to have exit as the highest per person production in the industry. No more 80-20. We don't play with the 80-20 rule. No, I don't believe in that. Or it's 90-10. Probably 10% of the people in the industry do 90% of the business. I don't want that. That's not acceptable for us. I would like to have our people in the six-figure income and all of them in the six-figure income and going out there and doing it in a way that is new to people, that is comfortable for them and comfortable for the consumer. If I can make them comfortable in front of the consumer, what they're going to say, I can make them comfortable to do it. And that's what we need to do. We need to elevate our standards in every way. Forget the real estate industry. They never had the high production standards the way we want to copy. So I don't want to copy them. I want to do our own thing.
Let me ask you this question. Is everybody cut out for real estate?
No. I don't think everyone's cut out to be an architect. I found that out. I started studying architecture when I got out of the Marine Corps. No, I wasn't cut out for that. That's good for a person. I'm a DI. So no, I don't think everyone is cut out for real estate. But let me have a caution here. I think that there are more people cut out for real estate than we have that can double and triple and quadruple their income, literally.
Yeah.
What we have right now. I think we could double, triple, quadruple people's income. I really do. And I've seen it.
Yeah, I do too. And I think look, a lot of it has to do with personal belief. Okay.
Yes.
I can. And then secondly, put me in front of somebody that can teach me. And then third, it's just like any good athlete. An athlete rehearses, they practice, they are habitual every single day, staying on task, doing what they're supposed to be doing, what I call revenue generating activities. And if they do that, they'll create habits, and those habits will just work into a calendar schedule, and they will continue to do that.
It's a matter of habits. It's a matter of
it really is. All right, let's switch gears for a little bit.
Okay.
Because we're running a little bit out of time here. So I want to ask you this question about success stories. I know you've worked with a lot of people, and I know you've worked with a lot of people in our company. Success stories, validation, testimonials have a lot to do with encouraging people to get on board. Like, yes, I want to try that, or yes, I believe in this. Do you have any success stories that come to mind without naming the names of the people that you could say this person had this result of me working with them?
Yes, I could. Dozens and dozens and dozens.
Yeah.
They encourage me. So, by the way, they make me who I am. I get my encouragement and I get my fire every day because of them. I could tell you that there were 2 people this week that came through on bulletins from corporate. They opened their own office. I think that's a cool thing. It shows a few things. It shows that they really graduated from agents and did everything that they had to do, and they did it well. They did it successfully. They built income for themselves, and they believe in the brand so much that when it came to open their office, they would only open exit. I've got about 5 when I have about 5 or 6 single gals that are earning over $500,000 a year, and
Wow.
they do that through both commissions and they do that through sponsoring. And
Yeah.
sponsoring, we have to get more and more and more sponsoring. I know that Steve wants us to get 3 sponsors each. I kind of asked for 12, and because I think that's what we should be doing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
my greatest, the things that I'm proudest the most, and is for the people that have not done well and then turn their life around to earn the money, the self-respect, their family turned around, to be able to do the things that they've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I can't count them.
Yeah.
The amount of people.
Yeah, it is a great feeling, and you feel a little bit of pride there, but you feel some responsibility, and you feel responsibility when they don't do well either. But overall, you feel this huge sense of pride when you feel like you played some little part in that and helping them achieve their goal. But what would you say, and we got to wrap up here, but what would you say in a sentence for somebody that was watching this episode right now that is not with our company? What would you say to them to encourage them to come into our company?
To truly understand find somebody that could tell you truly what this company is all about. Because like me, having been in the business all these years, knowing all the executives from all the national companies, knowing who they are, what they do, I believe today in myself that if I was listing and selling real estate, I would only join Exit. People do not understand Exit. So what I would say to them is that Exit is freedom. We are the only company. A lot of companies say that they do the things that we do. They don't. This is the only company that will give you financial freedom, freedom for your family, and to be able to have a total lifestyle change. So I encourage you to sit down with somebody and find out really what it's about.
Yeah. They always say the greatest story never told, right? Or the most undertold story, right? So we've got to get better at that. Well, Rick, we're out of time today, but I just want to tell you that, and I mean this sincerely as a friend and a coworker and one of our key trainers here in this company, that you play a real vital role in our associates' success. Which is great, but you also impact the real estate industry as a whole, because a lot of agents come through our company and they don't necessarily stay. They move on to other companies, but they continue to take what they learned here and move that through their career. So you play a big role in that, and we appreciate you for that. So thank you, and thank you for joining us today, folks. We'll see you again real soon on the next episode of Get to Know Our Mindset Trainers. I'm so thankful that all of you watched it today. We got more good stuff coming right after this. So thanks again. Take care, Rick. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you, everyone.